the Madman! Welcome to a mega Madness at the Darkmoon Faire card review. We'll start off with a blast with a Hunter Legendary, Maxima Blastenheimer. 6 mana, 4/4, battle cry, summon a minion from your deck. It attacks the enemy hero, then dies. You want big attack minions in your deck. You want death rattle minions in your deck. And you don't want small minions in your deck. So this is going to be a very, very specific deck to build around. And yet, Maxima Blastenheimer is a legendary, so you can only put one of these cards in your deck. And of course, your card that this was revealed with, Darkmoon Tonk. 7 mana, 8/5, Death Rattle, fire 4 missiles at random enemies that deal 2 damage each. By the way, it is not lost on me that this Darkmoon Tonk can take down 2 Ragnaros. That's right, this Darkmoon Tonk can take down 2 Ragnaros. Amazing! It is a Greater Arcane Missiles that comes with an 8/5. I think Darkmoon Tonk might just work in a mid-range deck. This would be the high-end card. Perhaps. But yes, a good combination is in fact to summon Darkmoon Tonk with Maxima Blastenheimer. How realistic that is remains to be seen. It does seem like Darkmoon Tonk is pretty good just standalone. Maxima, on the other hand, I think she might be a little too specific, but maybe if you manage to make your mid-rangey deck pure Death Rattle or a bunch of stuff that's good with Death Rattle, I could see both of these in the same deck. I mean, certainly they have a lot of synergy together. Hunter also gets Don't Feed the Animals. 2 mana spell, give all beasts in your hand +1/+1, corrupt, give them +2/+2 instead. This is one of those cards which looks so terrible. Maybe you hedge and say something like, well, we gotta see all the beasts that hunters can run first before really judging this card. But you know what? I think I'm actually ready to judge this card. It doesn't matter how good the beasts are. This card can't ever possibly be good, right? But Petting Zoo, on the other hand, this is a card that looks very exciting for Hunter. 3 mana spell, summon a 3/3 Strider, repeat for each secret you control. The dream is turn 2 secret, which doesn't get activated, into turn 3 Petting Zoo for 3 mana 6/6. Wow. But the mega dream is you're going second. You coin out Snake Trap, then you play Pack Tactics, then you play Petting Zoo, and you get 3 3/3s. So this definitely has the potential to be very explosive. If there's a good secret or good secret synergy in this set, this card will be even better. Might even justify not running that many early minions in your deck. Perhaps if you want to fire the big minions out of your cannon. That might be a way to do it. Token Demon Hunter is getting a push with Expendable Performers. 7 mana, summon 7 1/1 Illidari with Rush. If they all die this turn, summon 7 more. So on an empty board, this is 7 mana, 14/14 Rush, assuming you can use it all. The big payoff with this card though, well, 2 big ones. One's more memey than the other. One is Wrathscale Naga, where if you play the Wrathscale Naga and then you play Expendable Performers, you could get up to 12 things attacking and then dying, thus causing 36 random damage from Wrathscale Naga. Blood Herald, and that's a meme, but Blood Herald will get +14/+14 if you use all of the Expendable Performers. And by the way, it has been confirmed that you do get all the 7 more performers if originally you start off with a board that has fewer spaces than 7. You just summon all the Illidari you can, and if they all die, you summon 7 more. Also for Token Demon Hunter is Renowned Performer. 4 mana, 3/3 with Rush, Death Rattle, summon 2 1/1 assistants with Taunt. So for 4 mana, you're getting 3 guys. You're getting a total of 5/5 stats. You can compare this with Flanking Strike in the sense that it deals 3 damage to a minion, and then afterwards you're getting 2 1/1 assistants with Taunt instead of a 3/3. It's one of those levels of, yeah, it's okay, I'm not entirely sure if it'll take off. Seems like borderline, not quite as good as other cards you could be running, but seems reasonable. Now the really spooky card is Il'gynoth. 4 mana 2/6 with Lifesteal. Your Lifesteal damages the enemy hero instead of healing you. Works even if you're at full health because Lifesteal triggers even if you're at full health. The big spooky combo here is you have your Eldrazi Warblades equipped. You play your Twin Slices, your Second Slices, your other weapon buffs, and then you just attack with your 10 attack weapon, deal 20 damage. Very spooky. However, if you're looking for a really spicy way to kill your opponent, what about Moarg Artificer? Moarg Artificer doubles the damage of spells done to minions. So if you went Artificer, it quadruples. But wait, that's not all. What about a little philosophy and then you duplicate some Moarg Artificers? And then maybe you play like 3 Moarg Artificers. If you play 3 Moarg Artificers out, you don't just quadruple the damage of spells on minions, you actually octuple the damage. So that means one Eye Beam does 24 damage to a minion. You Lifesteal for 24, but instead of healing for 24, you actually deal 24. Okay, that might require too much mana, but okay, let's suppose you just play Il'gynoth and then 2 Moarg Artificers, and then you do a little bit of Eye Beam. Then that's simple 24 damage. Anyways, that's a little too spicy. I do think this is realistically a big threat in a current good deck, Soul Demon Hunter. Though, to be fair, you're not healing for anything, which was one of the main benefits of Eldrazi Warblades. We've also got a Stilt Stepper here. 3 mana 4/1, Battlecry, draw a card. If you play it this turn, give your hero +4 attack this turn. So it should be reminded that Star Scryer is considered a pretty good card for Mage. So for Demon Hunter, 3 mana 4/1, draw a card. That already might not suck, but there's a lot of upside on it. If you play the card, you get a free Heroic Strike with it. That's pretty sweet. So at its best, if you count the Heroic Strike, it's a 1 mana 4/1 that draws a card. Yeah, that's pretty insane. You'd want to put this into a very aggressive deck, which was not a Soul deck, because if you draw a Soul Fragment, you actually can't play it, and that's very sad. Rogue's getting a few interesting cards. First up is Prize Plunderer, 1 mana 2/1 pirate combo, deal 1 damage to a minion for each other card you've played this turn. It is difficult to say that a 1 mana card that you don't want to play until later in the game and have that basically just be kind of a spell that deals damage to a minion. It's tougher to say that's good even when it comes with a 2/1. So I don't really anticipate seeing much prize plundering here. But apparently Rogue has a teddy bear theme because the Prize Plunderer is holding onto a real prize here. The Ticket Master, 3 mana 4/3, Death Rattle, shuffle 3 tickets into your deck. When drawn, summon a 3/3 plush bear. Now that's some value. It reminds me a lot of Faldorei Strider, which saw a lot of play. It's Death Rattle instead of Battlecry, but because it comes out a turn earlier, you just, use the card to kill something, and then you get those bears into your deck. If you draw those plush bears faster with cards like Stowaways, you just instantly get the bears. But yeah, seems great in a mid-rangey rogue, especially if you can draw cards. I don't think you work too hard to actually force card draw into your deck just so you get the bears. It just comes naturally, kind of similar to Faldorei Strider. Paladin's getting some very, very exciting cards. Hammer of the Naru, 6 mana 3/3 weapon. Battlecry, summon a 6/6 Holy Elemental with Taunt. Wow, what a card. So already for 6 mana for a 6/6 Taunt, you'd be like, oh, that's something. And it's an elemental. That's actually something. I'll cover why in a bit. Fire Elemental is 6 mana 6/5 that deals 3 damage. This is 6 mana 6/6 with Taunt that gets you a 3/3 weapon. 3/3 weapon is way better than deal 3 damage. So this is like already miles ahead of Fire Elemental. A pretty good card. I expect this to be a mainstay in mid-range Paladin or Control Paladin, and Control Paladin will be a thing. Let's take a look at this Carousel Griffin card. 5 mana 5/5 mech with Divine Shield. That's already decent. This is probably the best baseline card, but with Corrupt, this becomes a 5 mana 8/8 with Taunt with Divine Shield. Wow, that's a card. And it's a mech, by the way. Now, why does the mech matter? Well, this mech and that elemental, N'Zoth would like to resurrect those minion types. And also, Yasharaj would love to give you copies of Carousel Griffin, so that when you play Yasharaj, you can play those 8/8s with taunt for free for no mana. This could be the start of a very legitimate Paladin late game deck, which runs 2 Old Gods. Mage gets a cute little ring toss game. 4 mana, discover a secret and cast it. Corrupt, discover 2 instead. It's easy to see in a control mage where you could get a spell cast, and then you play the ring toss. You get to discover 2 late game mage secrets. Seems a bit slow though. Here's my understanding of the flavor, and I think this is genius when you really think about it enough. There's a lot of these carnival games at the Darkmoon Faire, so you're getting a reward if you win the ring toss, yeah? So as you can see from the art here, it looks like you're actually landing one of the rings on this turtle top. Your prize is to discover a secret and cast it. But look at the corrupted version. It's a lot easier to toss the rings onto this tentacle beast. There's like so many rings on that thing, so you get the mega prize, which is 2 secrets. Priest gets the nameless one. Looks like Priest has a fortune teller theme in this expansion. Kind of cool. Like all the classes are getting a little bit of a theme. But anyways, Priest 4 mana 4/4 legendary. Battlecry, choose a minion. Become a 4/4 copy of it, then silence it. This is a spellbreaker. Except instead of a 4/3, it's a 4/4. And sometimes it has a big bonus if you manage to get a Death Rattle minion with it, or a Divine Shield minion with it, or a Rush minion with it. So something with a keyword. And if you want to silence things, generally there's a bunch of Death Rattle, which means it's a significantly better spellbreaker. Yeah, it's very handy. In Warlock Land, there's actually 2 cards revealed for Zoo, and I think both are for Zoo specifically. First up, Revenant Rascal, 3 mana 3/3, Battlecry, destroy a mana crystal for both players. So it's a symmetric effect. How can you make a symmetric effect work for you? Well, you want to be playing a deck that doesn't rely on a high mana cost plan, and hopefully your opponent's a control deck or an old god deck, which wants a high mana cost card. But if you keep those away, if you like drag the early game of the game on a little bit longer, it benefits the lower mana cost deck. So from that perspective, perhaps Revenant Rascal is a good card in Zoo, because you like the early game. So will this be good enough of an inclusion to put into Zoo? Maybe. Another interesting card is Wicked Whispers. 1 mana, discard your lowest cost card, give your minions +1/+1. Kind of better than Grim Rally in that you don't have to destroy a minion. Instead, you're just tossing a card in your hand. It's different synergies. With Grim Rally, you hope to hit something with Death Rattle. With Wicked Whispers, you're hoping to discard something that isn't great. Or, as a super bonus, if you discard Boneweb Egg, you're getting 2 3/2s into play for 1 mana. That's pretty insane. I mean, that's like one of the biggest high rolls you can get in Hearthstone, I think. If you just begin turn 1 and your hand is Wicked Whispers and your lowest cost card is Boneweb Egg. I think that's kind of hard to pull off and very specific, but if that does happen, you're off to a great start. This card will get substantially better if there's another discard payoff card in this expansion, which I put up in the air on whether or not it would happen. It's like, wouldn't that get revealed with the Wicked Whispers? Maybe. I'm gonna save the Warrior class for last for, it's got a very exciting card at the end. So we'll just start with Horrendous Growth, the only neutral card revealed here. 2 mana 2/2 with Corrupt, gain +1/+1, can be corrupted endlessly. You obviously don't want to play this on turn 2, and you do want to draw this either on turn 0, 1, or 2, or 3. And I think the type of deck that you want to play the growth in is a mid-range deck. But yeah, it could be a 6/6 on turn 6, it could be a 5/5 on turn 5, and you've played it for only 2 mana. 2 mana 5/5, 2 mana 6/6 on turn 5 or 6, those sound pretty sweet. I think it could be a thing. Even in the late game, I think you'd be happy to pay 2 mana for a 4/4, which you could do by just playing 2 cards for 3 or 4 mana and then playing the 2 mana card. There's an idea to Shadow Step this card at the beginning of the game, and then it's a 0 mana card, which means every single card other than 0 mana cards you play will corrupt this card. I think that's actually not a great use of your resources, but it's something you could do. Warriors got a theme. The Zoo theme, the multi-tribal theme. Ringmaster Watley, warrior legendary, 5-mana 3/5 battlecry to draw a mech, dragon, and pirate. And this minion set is very, very relevant to warrior specifically, which has an excellent mech, an excellent dragon, and an excellent pirate. Possibly green skin instead if you're looking to not play with the cheap pirates. 5 mana, draw 3 cards is great. 5 mana, draw 3 cards that are specific. That's pretty sweet. 5 mana, 3/5 on top of draw 3. That's really, really good. So I do believe that we'll actually see play. By the way, 3 different tribes. Maybe you'd like to summon a bunch of different tribes back. Also, yeah, that's not it. Ringmaster's Baton. That really cements the menagerie theme. 2 mana, 1/3 weapon. After your hero attacks, give a mech, dragon, and pirate in your hand +1/+1. That could be up to +9/+9 if you manage to swing 3 times and you have the mech, dragon, and pirate. That could be up to +12/+12 if you are playing the green skin as your pirate. If you're playing your Tomb Warden, by the way, the Tomb Warden duplicates, so each buff on the Tomb Warden in your hand is worth +2/+2. So I think that'll be a pretty sweet control warrior baseline. We have to see if there's even better mechs, dragons, and pirates that you may need to add into the warrior list. Or perhaps if there's even more interesting cards that you can summon with N'Zoth. One of which would be Fleethoof Pearltusk. And I saved the best for last, my reveal card. If you missed out on the metal concert, you should watch it. ETC got a medal, 2 mana, 1/4. After a friendly rush minion attacks, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. It's a legendary for warrior. This does work with animated broomstick, giving rush to minions that don't originally have rush, by the way. So there's 2 main ways to play this card, I'd say. First is to play this early on. It's got 4 health, it could survive. Turn 2 or turn 3. You play the Restless Mummy on turn 4. Pow pow, the Reborn Restless Mummy deals another 2 damage. Pretty sweet. You play it late game for a combo if you don't draw it early. You know, it's a legendary, so it's not like you build your entire deck around it. You just put in the good rush minions. If you draw them early, or if you draw them mid, great. Or if you draw them late, great. You add a bunch of damage in. Probably not appropriate for the control decks, which don't really value dealing damage to the enemy hero. Some potentially interesting combinations with this are the Playmaker, which gives you multiple rush cards when you play a rush. Scion of Ruin, which gives you 3 rush minions if you've invoked Galakrond. Perhaps seeing ETC got a medal in this expansion, maybe we're gonna see another cool minion with rush. There is already one, by the way. It's the one like I keep scrolling back to. It's the Fleethoof Pearltusk. So yeah, totally rad, man. I enjoyed revealing this card and coming up with such a production. Pretty fast-paced reveal session coming up. So looking forward to reviewing all the new cards as they come out every day. Woo!